Welcome back to Making the Madness on YouTube. Uh, we have the big time series in the Missouri Valley. It is Drake. It is Loyola Chicago. One team that went to the Final Four a few years ago versus one team looking to go to the Final Four. Actually, both these teams are looking to go Final Four. Should be a fantastic matchup. Drake is the home team. Drake is the team coming in, uh, right? Only one loss on the season. But Loyola Chicago, they're coming in quick. Uh, they're playing best basketball of anyone in the Missouri Valley right now. 17-3 on the season, but ranked in the top 25. It should be a fantastic series.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you think of recent powers in the mid-major level in college basketball, the one right at the top is Loyola Chicago after making a Final Four a few years ago. But since then, they haven't been able to get back to the NCAA tournament. They made the NIT a couple seasons or 2 seasons ago, and last year, obviously, the NCAA tournament got canceled, but the Missouri Valley played their tournament. Loyola Chicago got upset in that one by Valparaiso, I believe. So they weren't going to make it last year either. So they're looking to make another tournament for the first time since they made that Final Four.
Yeah, and speaking of getting upset by Valparaiso, that's exactly what happened uh, to Drake earlier this week. They fell to Valparaiso. Their undefeated season is no more. They lose that game, but this is a Drake team that coming into this game, obviously 19-1 on the season. Uh, they're they're playing really good team basketball. Roman Penn, Shaquan Hemphill, both are playing really good. Hemphill kind of playing that small ball four kind of spot, and Murphy obviously also there inside. This is a team very deep roster, very deep bench, but they have the superstars in Hempel and Penn uh, that can kind of just roll. So I think this Drake team, while one of these teams is coming in ranked, the team that isn't ranked, which is Drake, is certainly more than capable of being ranked and more than capable of winning this series.
Yeah, definitely. And when you look at what happened with Drake last weekend when they lost to Valpo, I feel like the writing was on the wall. They had been playing a ton of close games. They played a really bad Illinois State team right down to the wire at home. They were losing at points in the game. They ended up winning by 2 in overtime. But in game one against Valpo, they probably should have lost that one too. But they came back in the final 5 minutes. But in the next game, they just got destroyed. They only led one time. It was 13-12, and they never led again. Sheldon Edwards looks to be a future star for Valpo with Ben Krikke, but this isn't a video about Valpo. Just want to put that out there. But Drake is a really good team. They play a lot of good team basketball. Roman Penn's a fantastic facilitator, one of the best passing guards in the entire country. Then you mentioned a guy like Shaquan Tank Hemphill. Tank's his nickname, pretty cool nickname if you ask me. But he's a very good player. He plays a 3/4. He's a very interesting player in this day and age because he doesn't shoot, but he's taken 3 threes the entire season. He's just a guy that gets to the basket, and he is 6'6", but he plays so much bigger. He's super athletic. There's a lot to like with Hemphill. And then you look at a few other guys on the team, DJ Wilkins and Tremel Murphy, the two best shooters on the roster. When they lost to Valpo in the game they lost, they combined for 8 points and 2 threes with Tremel Murphy fouling out. And that shows how valuable shooting is to this Drake team, and they need their two shooters, Tremel Murphy and DJ Wilkins, to be shooting the ball consistently from deep. But the matchup I'm looking for in this game is the two bigs. Cam Krutwig, one of the best passing big men I have ever seen, facing Darnell Brody, a 6'10", 275-pound former Seton Hall player. Both are extremely talented, but Krutwig's on a different level. If Brody can contain Krutwig without getting in foul trouble, that would be big, but you can't stop Krutwig. You can only hope to contain him.
Absolutely. Uh, from an NCAA tournament perspective, I think Drake's in a little bit better spot. One, because of the record. Neither one of these teams have gotten the necessary quality wins per se, but uh, both these teams, I think, of the two teams, Drake's in a slightly better position. One, because of their record. They already have 4 Quadrant 2 wins on the season, which is one more than Loyola. And obviously, while Drake has a worse loss, Loyola has more losses. So I think right now, if the selection committee was going in the room, they would currently say, we're going to see Drake ahead of Loyola Chicago. So for the seeding perspectives, the Missouri Valley might be cheering for Drake in this one to get a sweep, because if Drake gets a sweep and then Loyola Chicago wins the conference championship game, then there's your two bids, because a two-loss Drake teams absolutely making the NCAA tournament as an at-large. I I would say, a four-loss Loyola team with their lone loss being to Drake. Either way, I think the Missouri Valley wants a sweep, and then they also want the team who gets swept to then win the conference championship game in order to get the two bids secured.
Yeah, a quick rebuttal to you thinking, and you're the bracketologist, so help me out here, because obviously I don't pay all. I don't know how the seating intricacies work like that, but Loyola is ranked 12th in the net, and Drake is ranked 30th. So, wouldn't you think that Loyola might be in a better position seating wise?
I think because Drake one has the better record, and two ranks a little bit higher in some of the resume-based metrics, strength of record being one, Drake's a little bit higher in that. I'd say Drake right now has a better seed, but again, Loyola Chicago, they win both these games, Loyola Chicago will move into having the better seed. So I think if you get a split, it'll be probably pretty close between the two. But I think for now, Drake has the better resume. And
it's fair.
Either way, if Drake wins both games and Loyola stays top 30, that's two quadrant one wins. Loyola can obviously pick up two quadrant one wins. So these are quadrant one wins that are on the line here.
Yeah, very fair points there. And when you look at Loyola Chicago, to me, I think this team, top to bottom, is better than the one that went to the Final Four. Obviously, it'll be tough to get to the Final Four, but just top to bottom, I think this team is better. They have 7 players averaging 6 points or more on the season. They don't have anybody scoring double figures other than Cameron Krutwig, but they do have a bunch of guys just playing their role in scoring. But this is a defensive-led team, and Drake's a really good offensive team. So it'll be fun to watch who ends up coming out victorious. But if Drake wants to win either of these games, they're going to have to stop Cameron Krutwig. But Loyola Chicago's going to need shooting performances from Braden Norris, Lucas Williamson. They're going to need Tate Hall to turn it around from deep. There's a lot of pieces on both teams. But I just think top to bottom, Loyola Chicago's a better team, and I think they're going to end up sweeping the series.
I think we'll get a 1-1 split, personally. I think you'll find a situation where one key, I think most likely is going to happen is Loyola or Drake comes out guns a blazing and gets the first win, and then I think I think Loyola's a better team, so I'll say Drake wins the first one. But Loyola, I think they have the ability to come back the next day and get the win. So I think it'll be a 1-1 split, which isn't actually all that bad for the Valley. You get each team collecting a quadrant one win there. The important key will be, no matter what happens, keep these two teams from losing to the rest of the Valley, because that's the one area of concern for these two teams going forward. If they lose to, let's say, a Bradley or someone like that coming up, that could severely hinder their NCAA tournament chances. So I think as long as we can get maybe an even split, or you get the conference tournament where the team who got swept gets the sweep, should be a two-bid Valley.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Both these teams are good enough to make a deep run in March, but it'll be a fun series to watch. We got it on the 13th on the Saturday, and then on Valentine's Day, the 14th, obviously, Sunday. So I mean, I feel like on Valentine's Day, all you got to do is sit down, watch Loyola Chicago and Drake. I mean, that's what you need to do.
Absolutely. Must watch game. Make sure to subscribe to Making the Madness. We'll be coming out with more fun content in the future, more game previews. So stay
Gearing up
tuned.
towards March.
Gearing up towards March. Two Bid Valley. It starts here. This should be fantastic.